Good morning, all. Can someone please confirm if my screen is visible? Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, great. We waited enough. Let's get started. Today, we are going to start with our storage segment. Prior to this, we are done with our compute, network, load balancer, PaaS. In this, we have checked app services, etc., basics, right? We are done with all of these segments. I'm referring to the OneNote, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are done with this. Even this one is done. Today we'll start with Azure Storage. In storage itself, we are going to learn ASR, Azure Site Recovery, and which is a base for migration, and then we'll go ahead with migration. Then we are done with this. VDI, etc. It's not our part. Monitoring, we might see. It's not a huge topic, right? So let's start with storage. When it comes to storage, guys, what I have experienced is I'm not saying it's not important. For sure, it's important. They do ask, but I have seen few interviews where they have not asked anything about storage, right? So we are not going to focus on each and everything when it comes to storage. This is compared to networking, this is a light topic for us compared to networking, right? In isolation, obviously, it is also a good topic. We'll have to learn about it. We'll have to check all these options. But when we compare it to networking, you will not see a single interview without them asking a question on networking or without they expect you to have knowledge on networking. But when it comes to storage, you may find one or two openings where they won't even bother about storage. Two things. One, maybe the requirement is not there. Second, it's not that hard to learn. If you know networking, if you know compute, if you know all these things, then storage is not that difficult to understand, right? Uh, we have been working on virtual machines, etc., and we saw that unless you assign a public IP to a machine, right? By default, it is up in a private network. By default, you get a private IP to that machine, unless you assign a public IP, right? That is optional. But from past services, we have been seeing that you don't get a private IP. You by default, you get a link which is publicly accessible. Similarly, in storage, when we are going to see the storage details, you'll see that it by default nature, it's publicly accessible for storage. You have to go ahead and make sure that it is accessible only internally if that is your business requirement. Right? So let's get started with the definition first. What is an Azure storage account? An Azure storage account contains all of your Azure storage data objects like blob. Blob is a short form. Blob is nothing but binary large object. That is a blob. BLOB, blob. Binary large object. Blob, files, queues, and tables. These are the four categories, main categories we have uh, in Azure Storage account. So there is a when I say Azure Storage account, you're not creating some other account, or it's nothing like that. When you create resource, like we create a virtual machine, similarly, when you create a storage resource, they call it storage account, right? Within that storage account, there are categories, there are types. The categories are blob, file, queues, and tables. So these are the four categories or four services. Correct word would be services. These are the four services which you can use in a under a storage account. So you can have a storage account. In that storage account, you can use blob. Don't get confused with blob. Blob is nothing like it's like a folder or file, or it can be anything. It can be your MP3 file, MP4 file, any data can be called blob. So you can have blob, you can have files. This files means something different here. Well, we are going to see this. Under blob, everything comes. Your folders, your files, everything will be under blob. And this files, what is it? We are going to see. Queue and tables. These are the four services which we have, which we are going to see. Right? There were used to be two version of account, general purpose version 2 and version 1. This is old. I'm not sure if they are still dealing with version 1. They were planning to get rid of version 1. Let me quickly log into the portal and see. So normally we log into the portal. Normally how you sign into your account, you do that. If version 1 and version 2 are there, then they do ask the difference between version 1 and version 2. But I think nowadays version 1 has been already obsolete. If not, in few matter of time, it is going to be obsolete. But let's have a look. So if I want to create a storage account, I can go ahead here, look for the storage account. If I have already used, I will see it here. If not, then you'll have to search. Let me just quickly switch my directory. So this is how it will look like if you haven't worked on storage account ever. So you can go ahead and search for a storage account here, storage accounts, or you can go from services also. It's nothing different for a storage account. For everything, it's same. You can either go from services or you can search. The moment you search, you are going to see your existing storage accounts. Okay. Look at this. The type, it's storage account. This is the name of the storage account. Kind is storage version 2. So if it is specifically saying version 2, maybe we have a version 1. This shows your resource group and it shows your location. This shows your subscription. Let's go ahead and create a new storage account. In a virtual machine, if you have a virtual machine in your subscription named test VM, can I have a virtual machine in my subscription with the same name? We are two different companies, two different tenants, everything is different. So can we have same virtual machine name?
Yes, we can.
Yes. But when it comes to storage account, it's not possible. Why? Because I told you the default nature of storage account, it's that it works on global level. It works on public level. Your virtual machine's default nature, it doesn't work on public level. It is in private, right? So this storage account, it works on public level. So name has to be unique globally. So if I just put test, I might not get it. Look at this. The storage account name has already taken. Even if I do maybe test 1, 2, 3, see 112, it's not possible because maybe there are many people who are practicing and it's very simple name to take test. Let's say temp. It is not taking. Now let's go ahead and I will go ahead and check some unique name. So maybe if I put UT-Kloud, no one would be using same name. That will that should work. But still I'm getting error. Now what is the error? So these are the basic things which you remember which you need to remember about a storage account name. They might ask you that what are the attributes of storage account. So one thing, name should be unique, globally unique, not in your subscription, not in your tenant, globally unique. Second thing, name should be in lowercase only. So this name is unique. I'm sure this name is unique. But why am I getting this error? It should be lowercase only. Name must be between 3 to 24 characters. Even if it is unique and it is in lowercase, it won't accept unless I complete 3 characters. And maximum 24. I can't have a huge name like something like this. It should not cross 24 characters. It should not be less than 3 characters. It should be globally unique and it should be in lowercase. Clear to everyone, guys? Yes, no, maybe any doubt in this one? See, even the spelling mistakes name, okay, this name is available. So even you can't put a hyphen between this. Can you see? If even if I put a hyphen, it is not taking. So any doubt when it comes to name? Naming convention of a storage account. Yes, guys. Anyone would like to repeat? What are the attributes of a storage account's name? Yes, Priyanka, Shehbaz, Shagun, any one of you? Tushar, Aragya. What are the attributes of a storage account's name? Guys, can you hear me?
It should be in lowercase
Yes, sir.
Okay,
and it
lowercase,
should not cross 24 um, alphabets or digits, we can say,
maximum
and
24
minimum
and
should be
it
characters.
three.
and it will be unique, like no repeat will be
Globally
available.
unique, minimum 3 characters, maximum 24 characters, lowercase. These are the four attributes we'll talk about. Fine. Here we are going to select a region. As of now, we'll stick to East US. Primary services. What are you going to do with this account? Now,
We
the
will.
storage account. Yes, Danish. Sorry, someone had a question?
So, as you say earlier, that we cannot. I had a question.
Yeah, tell me.
So, as you said earlier, that we cannot use the name, and it should be globally unique name. Okay.
Hmm.
So, suppose if I create a storage, okay, with my name, suppose Danish, okay, then later I delete that storage.
Hmm.
Again, I'm creating this storage. Can I use the same name?
Yes, if it is completely deleted, if it is not in the soft delete, same as if you remember, we checked these details when we were dealing with app services, right? We were dealing with backup, etc. So if it is not available in soft delete, if it is not there entirely in your subscription or anywhere it is completely deleted, yes, you can. Because I had created this UT-Kloud account many times, but I deleted it completely. Now again, I'm able to use it. If it is existing somewhere, even if
Okay.
it is in soft delete, you won't be able to create it. But if it is deleted, you can. You'll select region then
Okay.
primary service, right? Uh, Under primary service, you are going to select that what are you planning to use in this account? Are you planning to use this account for Azure files? Now, what are Azure files? We are going to say it. Are you planning to use this account for blob storage or Azure Data Lake storage generation 2? Or are you going to use it for some other like tables and queues, right? So this isn't a mandatory field. You can leave it. You don't have to declare it here. Unless you start understanding it very properly, then we'll go ahead and do this. Again, as for a virtual machine or for a virtual network in subnets, you are going to get a build sheet with details, right? What kind of virtual network do you want? What kind of virtual network do you want, or what kind of machine you want? What should be the what should be this one? What you say? Uh, what should be the configuration of a machine, RAM, etc. All these details you get in a build sheet, right? Similarly, when there is a request, when there is someone is talking about creating a storage account, you are going to get all these details. You are going to get a build sheet for this also. You are going to get complete details that this should be the name of my storage account. You cannot go ahead and decide something. Yes, you can suggest them if someone has just given you this name. You can suggest them that it has to be minimum uh, 3 characters. You cannot give me a 2 character. Someone has given you a huge name, right? You can mention that it's not possible. Maximum I can have 24 characters. Someone has given you the name test. You can explain or mention that maybe in email or ticketing tool or however you have received that request, that this name is not feasible enough, suitable enough. That too happens with only with the new clients who are recently moved to Azure and they do not know. People who have been using, even your clients, your application owners, they know that what are the conditions and they will give you the name accordingly. And most of the time it has been decided with architects, so you will get the correct name. But still, if you get the incorrect name, you can rebuttal to that. You can suggest to that that this is the conditions you'll have to meet. But in any case, you will never ever go ahead and decide. Let's say someone has given you this name UT-Kloud and you are not getting this UT-Kloud. You can't go ahead and decide yourself, okay, he has given UT-Kloud, let me try UT-Kloud in one. Okay, it is working fine. Let's start it. Let's get started. एक ही तो एक्स्ट्रा लगाया है. He asked for UT Cloud. I've given UT Cloud one. उतना एडजस्ट कर लेगा. No, that is not possible. That is not the way you will deal with it. Why? Because all these names we are going to see how this name is going to impact. You use this in coding. This name before they share it with you, maybe they have shared it with their development team also, and they have used it in thousands of. They have written a code of 10,000 lines, and in that 10,000 maybe they have used this name in 1,500 lines already, right? So it will never happen. I mean, even the application owner, they will also check first and then give the code name to the account name to their developer, to you, everything. But in case it happens also, you are not going to select anything on behalf of the client unless you have a confirmation. You can mention that you requested UT-Kloud. UT-Kloud is not available, but I have a UT-Kloud 1 available. Would you like to go with this? You can do that, but you will never ever decide anything on behalf of client. Right? So name has to be there. It will be there in your build sheet. Region, obviously, many things will be dependent on this. That who is accessing this? Maybe I want to use this, attach this to some app service, to some virtual machine, to some network, etc., etc. So region also very important. You can't say that, okay, is it okay? I by mistake you asked for East US and by mistake I created in Central US. Can you adjust? No, that is not possible because in background there are thousands of things. Millions of APIs are running, and those have dependencies like name, they have dependencies like region, etc. So you're not going ahead and doing selecting anything by your own choice, right? It has to come from a client. So region, name, this is done. Primary service, you don't have to select unless client has given, it's okay. Performance, standard and premium. See, when you go ahead and take the standard, recommended for most scenarios, general purpose V2 account, version 2 account, premium recommended for scenarios that require low latency. Now, what is the low latency? Low latency is a simple word. It has nothing to do with Azure Storage account. Low latency is in quick service, fast service. So if I have terabyte and petabyte of data which I'm planning to deal with this storage account, and I'm dealing with very crisp data, cream data, it's मिशन क्रिटिकल एप्लीकेशन वी आर प्लानिंग टू यूज, मतलब बहुत ही ज्यादा कोई हाई लेवल एप्लीकेशन, ऑब्वियसली आई गो अहेड विथ प्रीमियम. But my application is a normal one, simple one, where end users are using, could be Amazon, like Flipkart, shopping, food delivery app, etc. Standard is good enough for me. But till here, I have not seen an option where I can select this general purpose version 1. So by default, it is taking version 2. And if it is not taking, then you don't even have to remember the differences. Otherwise, if you see this earlier, I think I had that table somewhere mentioned that what are the differences between version 1 and version 2. So if we see that version 1 is not available anymore, we won't have to worry about it here. General purpose version 2. I hope this is readable for you. And this is general purpose version 1. The differences between account. What is the difference between version 1 and version 2? But now I think they are already getting rid of version 1, so we won't even have to worry about version 1. Sorry guys. Okay, so version 1, it's blob, file, queue, table, and disk. This is what it used to support. Version 2, blob, file, queue, table, disk, and data lake generation 2. Redundancy option, general purpose version 1, LRS, GRS, RAGRS. Now, what are these? We are going to learn. Here we have the detailed, and this is very important. We are going to see this. But if you're taking version 1 account, it supports LRS, GRS, RAGRS. If you take version 2 account, then it supports LRS, GRS, RAGRS, obviously. Along with that, it supports ZRS, GZRS, RAGZRS. Now, what are these? We are going to learn. And now we don't even see the general purpose V1. Still, I'm telling you this. Why? Because this has recently discontinued. But you guys are planning to show that you have worked for 5 years, you have worked for 4 years, 3 years, right? You're not showing that you are fresher to Azure, so you will know only whatever is there today. You are portraying that you have been working from last 5 years. So if someone asks, at least you should remember at least these two things, these two, three things. And along with that, you can mention that, okay, nowadays Azure has stopped version 1. So by default, we get version 2. Got it, guys? Any doubt till here? Any doubt till here? Name, location, primary service, optional. We are not dealing with it. General purpose, version 2, version 1. What are the differences? Then we have redundancy. Redundancy, as of now, I'm selecting LRS. But we are going to see all of these: LRS, GRS, ZRS, GZRS. Click next. Under advanced, it is asking if your account will be accessed via API operations. If yes, then you will check this box. If not, then you will uncheck this box. What are REST API operation? Anyone knows? Anyone can give me an example of REST API operation? Anyone knows what is API? Yes, no, guys. Anyone knows what is API? Okay. So API, though it has nothing to do with Azure again, but it's a common concept across the cloud, you will see it. API is nothing but an application programming interface. Application programming interface. It is a set of protocols or routines, uh, or tool, you can say, that allows one software application to interact with another software application, right? It allows for one software application to communicate or interact with another software application. In a basic term, this is all you need to know. Now, what are the concepts of APIs, endpoints, requests, responses, etc.? You don't have to worry about it. You should understand application programming interface. It's a set of protocol which allows one application to communicate to the another application. Now, can you give me an example that in what case do you think one application would be speaking to another application? In live environment, maybe you are using it for many times. Any website which you think you are using, and you think that application is not generating the data by itself, but it is fetching the data from some other application. Anyone?
When we are connecting TV with our mobile or different applications.
Uh,
I mean, when we do the authentication and authorization part, so the backend it will take
yeah,
verification.
yeah, but very high level. Let's leave it. Let me share very basic one, right? For people who,
IRCTC, only?
sorry, what is that, Heather?
IRCTC, I mean, when you are booking tickets, it will redirecting to PhonePe. That, I mean,
No, that redirection is
that,
a different thing. Let me share an example. Very simple, very simple. All of you will understand, and you guys will able to relate it, right? Now we all are using weather apps, right? I want to know how's the weather in Mumbai. Right? It is 33, or let's say, how many websites are there? AccuWeather, times time and data, right? And there are so many. This BBC, see, even this RMC Mumbai. There are so many websites which will give me this data that how is the weather in Mumbai, and for that matter, any location, Mumbai, Pune, etc., wherever, New York, London, wherever I want to check that I'm planning. Okay, I'm planning a Europe trip next week, so I want to see next month. So I want to see that what how is the weather there, right? Anywhere I want to check, I can go ahead and do a Google search, and I can move to one of the websites. I told you on day one itself. When I say application, not necessary that literally it is a mobile application, right? Or an application which you install here. Those are client version. But when you use online also, this is also an application. A website is an application. So this is the application, right? So this is one application which tells me about the weather. This is one application. This is second application, which tells me about the weather, right? But understand one thing, guys. What do you think? How do you gather the information of weather? If you want to tomorrow, let's say if I want to nowadays with AI, it's very simple to write codes, etc. I take a domain, right? I take a domain, I purchase that domain, and instead of my classes, etc., I want this domain to share the data of weather, right? It's not that difficult. I'll be able to write a code, it will be easy for me, and I will have an interface something like this, right? But do you think it's feasible for me? Very first thing, that how do you capture the weather data? How is it happening, right? So to capture the weather data, you literally require machine, huge machines. I am not sure now if I'll be able to, let me check if I can get the images. Right, there are equipments and they cost a lot. They cost a lot, as in crores or maybe in $1 million or $1 billion. Not single machine, but the setup I'm talking about. Let's say even if this is the setup, right? Let's say this is the setup. Though I'm not sure exactly if this is the one or this is an imaginary one. Let's say this is a setup. This is a device which you require to capture a weather of that area, right? What kind of area will it cover, do you think? Maybe 100 kilometer, 200 kilometers, right? Maybe 50 kilometers. After that, again, I'll have to put one more device, one more device, one more device. So imagine that I want to host a website where I want to show or cater the data of complete world. That even if sitting here in Pune, I want to know the weather of Italy, right? Rome, I should be able to give that. I'm running that website, and if my customer, my user, if he is querying, if she or he is requesting the data, they should be able to give it. Now, do you think as a startup, it is feasible for me and possible for me to go ahead and install these devices all over the world? Do you think all of these app are doing that? Do you think this Mumbai BBC.com, it's a news channel, right? Do you think they are going to move away from their business, their core business as news, right? Their reporters are running here, they're already spending thousands of crores on that. Their OV van, they have to present in every area for news, etc. They're already spending thousands of crore on their core business. Do you think these guys, just to show weather, these guys are going ahead and spending uh, 5 and 600 crores again just to install these devices, right? Because this is not one time. Once you have installed, then there's a regular maintenance. You'll require a team, experts, technical people. Do you think BBC is doing that? No. Do you think that AccuWeather is doing that? No. So how it works, that maybe one or two company, maybe maximum one company or two companies, they have done it. They have already installed their devices. They have done this already. This work has been done. They are capturing the data, real-time data. They are capturing the real-time data to their application, right? They are capturing it. However, what this application is doing, this application is sending, let me open Paint and I'll explain it to you. This bbc.com/weather, what they are doing, that they have already spoken to one of these companies that, okay, I'm planning to do this. I'm planning to have an application which will show weather. This is my application. This is my website. And we are planning to have a one section of weather. For example, if you go to this bbc.com, it doesn't only have weather, it has news, sports, etc. One of the section talks about weather, right? So they'll say that I have my famous website. People are they are browsing my website. They come here for other things, but they also want to check weather. But I don't want to go ahead and spend everything on the machine. So when you already have your application in place and you're getting the core data, right? Whatever the company's name, let's say, and this is the core. company which is capturing the weather data. They have their equipments, etc. They have spent a lot. That's their core business. That's their core expertise. So what am I saying here? That my software will be, every time I get a query on weather, my software, my application will be connecting to your core application and requesting the data. Someone is asking me, what is the weather for Jaipur? I will ask you, what is the weather for Jaipur? Someone asks me, how is it going to be in Europe next week or next month? I will ask you the same information and you have to reply the information to me. And then I'll cater that information with my package, with my packaging to my user. Okay? So whatever the communication is happening between this app and this app, this is happening with via API. This I explained not only for a storage account, but API. It's very common term. You should know when you are claiming that you're working as a cloud engineer. Uh, Maybe now or maybe after a year or so, you guys will learn DevOps, right? So it is very common thing, and it will you guys will make fool of yourself if you don't even know basics of API with a claim that you have worked for 5 or 6 years in cloud. This is the reason I spent time on this. So these are the API calls. As an admin, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to write that code. You don't have to worry that why will these guys allow. Normally, anyone who allows APIs, they do charge them. Per API का कुछ ना कुछ charge होता है. Maybe it is in rupees or paisa, or if it is in dollar or cents, whatever, you don't have to get into that. वो architect level पे ये सब हो जाता है, that how many API calls they are anticipating. Maybe on monthly basis they are anticipating 1 million calls, API calls. So accordingly they will ask discount, they will ask whatever rates, etc. Once that has been decided, there will be technical settings. They will open some port for this application. This application will open support. There will be some programming. They will share some data from here to here, metadata. These guys will share some metadata from here to here. It's not publicly open. It's not like that कि मैंने आज एक website बना लिया and then I directly start using them, because these guys are spending crores of rupees, right? Dollars to utilize those equipment, to maintain those equipment. ये लोग फ्री में नहीं देने वाला है आपको. But you are reaching out to them, you are paying them, and what are you getting in return? You're getting your traffic. You know that my traffic, just to check the weather, a person who has come to bbc.com to read the news, he will not go to some other website just to check the weather. So I'm not losing my customer. And ultimately, what am I getting as a bbc.com? What am I getting to have a customer on my website for 20 minutes? 15 minutes someone read the news. And if I did not have this API system, that person will go somewhere else to check the weather. But now I have weather report also in-house. That person spent 20 minutes on my website. So now I have a report with me that I have 1 million users who are spending on an average 30 minutes on my website. The moment I have this data, what do I get? These advertisements. Ultimately, it's everything is money, guys. Everything is money. Why am I creating an application? Either I'm selling something or I'm earning commission, or if I'm not taking directly anything from you, it's advertisement. You must have read that many times, that if you don't have any product there on the website, if you're not paying, you are the product. For example, here on BBC, you're not selling something, you're not buying something. There is no commission they are gaining, right? You're not buying anything directly from them. For example, Amazon, it sells directly something. It is earning via commission, right? If you go to some vendor's website directly, right? For example, Tata Motors, if you're going directly over there, they are selling something. They're not earning commission, Tata Motors, but they're selling their cars over there directly, right? If you go to Bajaj website, they're not earning commission from you, but they're selling their product directly. But if you go to Amazon and Flipkart, they are not selling their own product, but they are earning commission. Somewhere, somehow they are earning, right? So they want people to be engaged. But if you go to Facebook, Instagram, they're not selling anything to you directly, right? You're not buying anything from them, but they are engaging the crowd, they're engaging the users. Why? So they can claim that, YouTube for that matter, they can claim that, okay, we have 10 million users monthly basis on an average, and they are spending 20 minutes on my website. Do you want to advertise your product? This is my rate. This is what BBC is doing. Look at this. They obviously not doing it for free for Lenovo. They are taking some charges from there. Okay? So this is the reason people would want that they stay on their website, and this is the reason they want everything there. and they achieve that using API. So if you have an application which will require the API, which will use some API calls to your storage account, then you will check this box. But the application for this storage account will be used. That application is not planning to make any API calls, right? So you have to uncheck this. Allow enabling anonymous access. We are going to say this. We have 2 minutes left. I will not be able to cover all of this here. So we'll cover this in the next session. Let's quickly recap the basic. Subscription, resource group, storage name. It has to be unique. Lowercase, 3 and 24 characters is the criteria. Region, primary service. You don't have to select it here, right? LRS, and this is huge study. We are going to do it. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but this is very important. We are going to see this. As of now, I'll just create an account and show it to you. You go to next, advanced, require secure transfer via REST API operation. Is this required or not for your storage account? Not necessary that every storage account someone will be uh, fetching that data. Now, what data you're going to keep in the storage account, that's a secondary thing. But whatever data you're going to keep there, will someone access that data using API? If owner says yes, they will be, right? Let's say that this core company is having this storage account. This core company, they are talking about a storage account. So then they know that my clients, they're definitely going to use API. So without having API, the storage account is useless for me. So check this box, right? Now, what are these? We are going to see later. We have only 30 seconds left. Let me stop the session. We'll resume at, what is it, 11:43. 11:50 we'll resume using the same link. Okay. I'm stopping the session. We'll continue from here. 11:50 we'll resume.